How exactly does a 19-year-old screen printing t-shirts in a cramped garage end up building a billion-dollar fitness empire? Well, welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack one of the absolute most legendary success stories in modern e-commerce. We are talking about Gymshark, a brand that started out as a teenager's passion project and literally redefined the entire activewear industry. Today, we're diving into exactly how they bulked up to a billion-dollar brand, and more importantly, the crucial technological pivots that made the whole thing possible. You know, it's pretty wild to think about a project born in a UPay garage back in 2012, transforming into a global juggernaut with a staggering billion-dollar valuation. And look, it wasn't just luck. It was an absolute masterclass in community building, paired with a massive forced evolution in their underlying tech. Because here's the reality. The infrastructure you build your business on completely dictates how high you can climb. And Gymshark, well, they had to learn that the hard way. Let's rewind a bit to 2012. Founder Ben Francis and his friends are just starting out, but their true explosive growth kicked off in the mid-2010s. Instead of blowing budgets on traditional print or TV ads, they did something different. They pioneered the influencer seeding model. Basically, they started sending free gear out to YouTube fitness influencers, and man, that viral word-of-mouth marketing just exploded. By the late 2010s, they hadn't just built a customer base. They'd amassed a highly engaged tribe of over 5 million social followers. I mean, they were creating absolute frenzies every single time they dropped a new product. But there was a massive hidden vulnerability right beneath the surface of all this growth. All of that incredibly high traffic, it was being funneled into a custom-built e-commerce platform powered by Magento. Now, to be fair, at the time, this was a totally standard choice for growing retailers. It gave them complete control of their code and their servers. But, as they soon found out, total control also means total responsibility when things inevitably go wrong. And oh boy, did they go wrong. Picture this. It's Black Friday. Gymshark has been hyping up their biggest sales event of the entire year to millions of ravenous followers. The clock strikes, the floodgates open, the traffic surges, and their Magento site crashes spectacularly. Imagine a little stickman IT guy just sweating bullets over a smoking server while thousands of angry customers are locked out. Millions of dollars in potential revenue just literally vaporized into thin air in a matter of hours. It was a complete disaster. So why did it actually break? Well, their tech stack failed them because of a few fatal flaws. First off, high developer dependence. Any tiny fix or update needed intense, time-consuming technical intervention. Second, it was just incredibly vulnerable to sudden traffic spikes. You know, when a viral brand drops a new collection, traffic doesn't slowly ramp up, it shoots straight up vertically. And third, the infrastructure maintenance was just insanely costly and distracting. Gymshark was burning all their energy trying to be an IT company rather than, an awesome fitness brand. That devastating Black Friday crash, it was the ultimate wake-up call. It forced a massive strategic pivot. They realized right then and there that they had to completely rip out and replace their technological foundation. So they made the leap. They moved from their custom-built crash-prone Magento setup straight over to Shopify Plus. They basically traded the crushing burden of server management for a reliable, highly scalable infrastructure. They desperately needed a platform that wouldn't just barely survive their growth, but one that would actively accelerate it. So let's define what that switch actually meant for them day to day. Shopify Plus is an enterprise-grade, fully hosted SaaS platform. What does that mean in plain English? It means Shopify takes care of the servers, the security, and those massive traffic surges. This was an absolute game changer. By offloading all of that heavy back-end lifting, Gymshark's team was suddenly completely free. They could finally focus 100% of their energy on what they were actually good at, designing killer apparel and marketing it to their community. All right, let's move into Section 1, frictionless mobile checkout, and how they removed absolutely every barrier to purchase. With their servers finally stable and humming along, Gymshark shifted their focus to an absolute obsession with the mobile checkout experience. Think of it like a little stickman effortlessly sliding down a perfectly smooth ramp with a full shopping cart. First, they knew their audience basically lived on their phones, scrolling Insta, watching YouTube, so the whole browsing experience had to be mobile first, not just a clunky afterthought. Second, they engineered these awesome personalized touches, like surprise free gifts that automatically popped into the cart. It delighted customers and massively reduced cart abandonment. And finally, a lightning-fast payment process. Zero bumps, zero hesitation, just a perfectly frictionless path right to the buy button. Okay, Section 2, Community First. This is how they turned everyday customers into a massive 5 million-strong tribe. Look, Gymshark didn't just want a boring list of email addresses. They wanted a loyal movement. And the beautiful thing is when your servers aren't constantly crashing, you can get incredibly creative. Here's the exact playbook they used to absolutely dominate the fitness niche. They went all in on user-generated content, encouraging fans to post photos in their gear. They deepened those YouTube fitness influencer partnerships to keep the promotion super authentic. But the real stroke of genius? Bridging the digital and physical world. They started hosting these massive in-person pop-up events and world tours. And by using Shopify point of sale, they seamlessly synced their online inventory with their offline physical sales. It became one totally unified, hype-building brand experience. Which brings us to Section 3, global scale, and how they conquered the international market. Armed with a brand new crash-proof website and an incredibly loyal community behind them, Gymshark was ready to tackle the globe. And they didn't hold back. They expanded into over 180 countries. By utilizing Shopify's multi-currency tools and international domain features, Gymshark was able to instantly offer a localized, native-feeling shopping experience literally anywhere their influencers had fans. They were fulfilling massive global demand with just the click of a button. And let me tell you, the results of this synergy, combining hyperscalable tech with a laser focus on community, were just explosive. By 2017, which was only 5 years after those guys started out in that garage, Gymshark hit a staggering £41 million in annual sales. They had completely transformed from this scrappy startup into a legitimate retail juggernaut. They proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that combining social-first marketing with a rock-solid infrastructure is an absolute goldmine. The trajectory of this journey is honestly staggering to look at. Going from literally $0 in 2012 to that massive £41 million in 2017, and then taking an astronomical leap to a valuation of over $1 billion by 2020, that is unicorn status. And it's exactly what happens when you remove all the friction from your customer's journey and just let your brand's true potential scale without any technical ceilings holding it down. So why does all of this actually matter for you? What is the big takeaway you should be pulling from this explainer today? The core lesson of Gymshark's entire ascent really boils down to this. Your tech absolutely must be a growth engine, not a bottleneck. If you're spending more time stressing out about your servers crashing than you are about actively delighting your customers, you are severely limiting your own potential. You have to align your platform with your ambition. Which leaves us with one final, pretty critical question to ponder. I want you to look at your own projects, your own business, or even the companies you're analyzing right now. Is your current tech stack holding back your billion-dollar idea? Are you unknowingly creating friction that is quietly costing you massive growth? Gymshark's story proves that finding the right platform can literally change everything. Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.